quite honest, because if you look back at previous talent shows, when they formed a band, it was almost like a surprise. It was like, oh, maybe we'll put them together. But when you've been in it for a while, you realize that all those little things have been already, or those cogs are already put in place anyway. So that show actually, producing it in the way that Little Mix had been formed, I thought was a big concept for a talent show.
I'm guessing again, this is the team have to be involved. So when you're working on these, this is where you have to then select, Ashleigh, I guess, who's going to be right, who's available for this. What type of planning has to go into these sort of projects, actually, when you're going into it? Is it just a case of okay, you're going to do this show? Do you just sort of rock up and go with it? Or
there's so much planning. There's so much planning. There's so many more additional WhatsApps that we have for each of the teams, and for Little Mix Research, I think that was kind of a hard one because of the pandemic. It was making sure
it was
that
very difficult.
we adhered by all the guidelines from the BBC and what we're really used to. Like, I've worked on every one of the voices with Craig, and the two of us were saying the difficult thing was that we're so used to just getting our hands stuck in and it being a conveyor belt and you just crack on, whereas with the likes of Little Mix Research, it was we had a team
in your own bubbles,
each individual band, because you had to have your own bubbles. And in the backstage area, if you can see as a team, you can see when people need help and work, and when you work together for so long, you're just used to just handing them stuff, and it was really hard actually to step back and be like, I'm not allowed to help them. They're their own individual team within the whole team.
Absolutely.
Is that quite frustrating?
I was the only one that could do that. So my role in that was to make sure and oversee that everybody got all their briefing together, had all of the hair pieces, the jewelry, their mood boards, to have all of that put together. So I was basically working with every single one of the teams, but everybody was then allocated to a team that really best suited their personal skills.
How do you deal with that as well then, Craig, when the pressure is, you're working on, production crews have got huge amounts of pressure, and certainly, I mean, the styling, when you see these shows that, whether it's Strictly Come Dancing, any of these big primetime Saturday night shows, I mean, the hair looks amazing, but, it's got to stay as well. I always think, how do you deal with that pressure, and if it's not going to plan?
We're like swans.
Yeah, all calm above, and then and then
all falling apart inside.
Although I'm quite a hectic person, so
get away.
I'm always running around like a nutter, trying to put it all together. But the bottom line is if you've got the right people there doing the work and genuinely doing what they do best, rather than putting people into situations where they're kind of, it's not their strength or their skill, then that it's going to work out all right. I mean, look, the bottom line is that we're lucky enough to get them back into the room for touch-ups maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the day, but those lovely bouncy curls that you'll do at 6:30 in the morning and they don't perform until 9 o'clock that night, they take some encouraging to keep in, I tell you.